So virtual mail, it's blown up in the last few years and it's a really hot topic. We get a lot of questions about it from clients. We also see it as an add-on where maybe a client is launching. So co-working space launches with all of their initial offerings, and then they get to a point where they go, okay, great, maybe there's more and maybe I can offer more. Virtual mail comes in as that sort of next level of business offerings. So I want to get your thoughts, Jerome, first on virtual mail and whether or not you think all operators should be offering it.
Yeah, definitely everyone should be offering it. I think it's a great way for people to always stay in touch with your business, even if they're not needing to physically come in that much. It was actually a total leper of a business, even as early as 6 or 8 years ago. A lot of co-working spaces said they'll never do virtual mail. It's a disgusting type of business for them. And it's like, whatever, there's not enough member engagement. But, come the pandemic, everyone's like, wow, look at this thing. So I think you should definitely do it. The business has completely evolved to the point where it's very operationally can be intensive. It is technically very nuanced and detailed. It's legally very liable. And then your customers have a higher risk of being bad customers. So like all that said, it sounds like it's not a great business, but as a subscription business that you can build upon, it has an infinite inventory better than anyone else. And this is the part where I want to draw, Kelly. I'll use my hands, but when you're selling offices, you might have 10 offices, you might have 20 offices, 50 private offices to sell. And everyone's like, yes, that's always the best money maker, makes the most money and all that stuff, right? So the sales can be up like this, really straight. And virtual offices are very, very flat in that it takes a long time to build up monetarily. So like when I say like this, you can sell $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 a month relatively quickly because they're a hot item and the dollar amounts are so high. Virtual office is very slow because you're selling them at like $50, $80, $100 a month. And you're like $50 versus $500 or $1,000 for an office, you'd have to sell a lot. But over time, again, being patient, as someone has been doing this for a long time, it can build up to a $10,000 a month business based out of a mailroom that's only 10 by 10. And that costs almost nothing. It's a shelf, it's some file folders or mailboxes, it's almost nothing. But every single private office you build out is thousands of dollars. It's also a lot of permits, construction, disruptive construction, all that. I know it sounds great, but I got to tell you, from like kind of comparing myself to so many operators over the years, the big ones and the small ones, the ones that are venture backed and all that, like everyone with all those offices and massive footprints, they have spent ridiculous amount of money. We're talking about $100, $200 a square foot, 20,000 square feet. I mean, we're talking $4 and $5 million budgets. If you don't have that resource, if you don't have that risk appetite, that is not a business you want to get into at a high office kind of thing. You may also not even aesthetically like a heavy office type of space. You may want a more open format because it's kind of your vibe. Just understand that while that is sort of the de rigueur and the standard among the industry, like don't have any FOMO about it because it's an expensive risk to take. And I've always kind of played the middle of the road on that, for better or worse. But with over time, you can build up your virtual office business as a result. So like, just think of it as an owner there. But once you get into the details of it, you have to follow these things, what's called CMRA, with the post office every quarter. And then to a post office, we may not even know what CMRA is. So it's very frustrating. There are softwares out there like Piloto, Spearmail, Anytime Mailbox that help you both generate leads for virtual offices, but also manage your everyday operations for that. Take a look at that. I heavily use Piloto and Spearmail. Each one has their pros and cons, as you can imagine. But I think those are kind of the two more popular ones to help manage your virtual office.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you for those very tangible suggestions there too, for anybody who is looking for software or more information on virtual mail. Maybe over to you, Jackie. I know that the virtual mail side is not anything that you would have your hands in the space, but being in marketing, is there anything that you're seeing work around this, or anything that you'd like to share in terms of marketing and how to do it effectively?
Yeah, so I lightly have my hand in this, but PAC has been doing virtual mail forever, for over 20 years. And at one point it was 35% of our portfolio, which is crazy, of our revenue. I know, and it has declined slightly in the past. I would say probably, it's so hard to count the COVID years, but if we're removing the COVID years, the past 5-ish years, it's declined. It's probably about 30% now. And I would say that the demand is changing, the customer base is changing, and to pay attention to that. So one of our sister companies is called Cloud Answering, and it's a live answering service. We have virtual receptionists. So it was something we offered with our virtual office packages. We did a survey, we did a usage study, and we realized nobody's using the answering. So why are we offering it? Why are we charging for it? So we reconfigured all of our packages for 2025 based on this data. And we rolled those out, and we're really hoping that increases the usage. It makes a lower barrier of entry for people who are comparing us to competitors, and it helps us streamline our answering service as well. So I would say just look at your demand, look at your packages. Are they getting usage? Are they not? And go from there.